So let's begin by asking ourselves, what's management? Anyone? I will request you to please switch on your camera, switch on your microphones.
Sir, it
Hello.
is being considered as a
Sir,
process. I can say,
Jasmeet is
of,
speaking, yes.
yeah, it is basically a process for dealing and coordinating with things, or it can be people, students.
Okay, dealing with and coordinating with things, right? Dilip,
Yes, sir. Very good morning, sir.
good morning.
Sir, to me, management is something like directing, controlling, organizing, and supervising the things.
Correct. That's a very professional definition. Thank you very much. Wonderful.
Uh,
Thank you. To put it I think Jasmeet also says, right? Yes. Yeah, the easiest way of looking at it is, I think, utilizing the available resources efficiently, effectively, very well. I think in case I have something and if I know how to use that, that's management. Now, in case I have plenty of something, perhaps I don't need to manage it because there is plenty anyway. But resources typically are not available in plenty. We need to manage what we have. We need to effectively, quite efficiently, productively, profitably, rewardingly, we need to utilize what's available to us. That's management. So now we are talking about time management. Let's see what exactly that time management is and can it really be managed and then what do we do, etc. I request all of you to please close your eyes for a minute and listen to me carefully. I think in case you can switch on your cameras, I'll be very happy. All of you, just close your eyes and listen to me. When you think, after I say start, we'll start. And when you think, it is 1 minute from the moment I declare start. You just open your eyes and maybe you can show me your right hand. Okay? I think the instruction is very clear. Just close your eyes. When I say start, start. When you think 1 minute is over, just open your eyes and show me your right hand. Start. Stop. Okay. I could not see all of you, but what I realize is that I think some of you opened your eyes within 20 seconds. Perhaps you did not realize how long was a minute. And I think even when I said stop, I saw one or two people still closing their eyes. I mean, both ways. Some people thought 20 seconds was 1 minute. Some people thought maybe 1.5, 2 minutes was 1 minute. So this is how we do not have. Sorry, I'm really sorry. So this is how we do not have a very clear idea of how long time, what is a minute, what is an hour, what is a lifetime. So what is a lifetime? How much time do I have left to live on this world, in this world? And then, I mean, this kind of vision of what time is, many people do not have. Let me just see what can happen in 1 minute in the world. There is a video. This is exactly 1.2, 1 minute 20 seconds. But this is about what can happen in the world in 1 minute. Try to remember at least one thing. There are many things in quick succession. Or there are lots of things talked about. Remember at least one thing that happens in 1 minute, and you have to tell me what that one thing is after you see the video. Are you ready? Let somebody say
Yes, sir.
Yes,
very good.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
video.
Yes, sir.
Watch the video. Try to remember at least one thing that happens in 1 minute in the entire world.
Amazon founder Jeff Bezos will earn around $150,000 whether he's sleeping or awake. The average worker in one of Amazon's warehouses will rake in 25 cents, if working, of course. A factory garment worker in Bangladesh might get in the region of half a cent. Around 83,300 people in the world will have sex. All that getting it on will lead to about 258 births, 113 of them into poverty. 108 people will die, 2.2 from car accidents and 18 from starvation. 59 weddings will take place. The Facebook like button will be hit 28,166,700 times. There will be 3.8 million Google searches. More than 80,000 people will visit the website Pornhub, and almost 3 hours of content will be uploaded. 208,333 people will be in a Zoom meeting. 69,444 jobs will be applied for through LinkedIn. 404,444 hours of Netflix content will be streamed. In the US alone, 2 violent crimes will be committed, 3 burglaries, and about 18 thefts. In the entire world, about 144 people will move houses. 15,950 land animals will be killed to be eaten just in the US. If you include aquatic animals, it's 105,190 deaths. 950,186 pounds of trash will be thrown out in just the US. 1 million plastic bottles will be sold around the world. 1,800 stars will explode. 288,000 will be born. Your brain will process 600 million bits of visual information. If resting, your heart will pump 1.5 gallons of blood. The hair all over your body will grow a total 1.1 inches. You'll lose 30,000 to 50,000 skin cells.
Okay, some 4 or 5 of you can, one after another, switch on your videos or maybe at least mobiles and then, microphones, and tell me what interested you most in that 60-second happenings in the world. Anyone?
1 million plastic bottles being sold.
Billion plastic bottles are utilized. Wow, that's really very sad, but very interesting. Yes.
That 83,300 people would log on to one website called Pornhub. That's impressive.
That's interesting.
Sir,
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yes.
And sir, 404 and 444 people are doing Netflix.
Right. Right. Very interesting. Very
Yes,
interesting.
3 million Google searches will be there.
Right. Did you notice anything that happens in our body within that 60 seconds?
The hair grows by 1.3, 1.1, I think.
All the
2.1 inches.
Correct. All
That
the,
that should not be that in inches, because inch is very long, I suppose. That should be in micro inches or something like that. Yes.
no, not all the hair together, not one single strand.
Okay, sir. Okay, that's fine then. That's
Right.
okay.
It's a 59 weddings. I think.
Yeah, yes. Some of the information relates only to the USA, some relates to the world, some relates to the human body. And I think this is all very interesting. Why I showed you this video is, see, so much happens in 60 seconds, both in our body, in our mind, around the world, in India, in America, and around the whole cosmos. You can imagine how big is the 60 seconds. 60 seconds is a lot of time, actually. Many of us think 60 seconds is just. That's why I asked you to close your eyes and check whether you know what is 60 seconds. So 60 seconds is such a long time. And especially if you ask an Olympic champion, he will tell you what's the difference between 50 seconds and 59.9999 seconds. So that's how time is. And if we can manage our time better, I'm sure we all stand to gain a lot. That's the focus of my presentation today. What you can do is, please go here and then just see the 4 or 5 points that I made there to tell you why we need to manage time. Why we need to manage time. I think the first one is very simple and clear and easy to understand. Whatever time is available to us, we have to make the most of it. For instance, a class is 45 minutes, a calendar year is 365 days, and then a college academic year is maybe 180, 190, 200 days, or even less, much less in some universities. And a day is 24 hours long. The day is actually 12 hours long because half of the day we sleep. And I mean, the time is limited. We do not have abundant time. So whatever time is available to us, we have to make the most of it. That's management. If I have only 100 rupees in my purse, I have to live with that 100 rupees only because I don't have more. If I have $1 million, I mean, I can squander that. So the time is available to us is limited. Make the most of it. be more successful. If I know how to use my time, how to productively manage my time, I can be more successful in whatever field I am, whether I'm a teacher or something else. My success depends also on, and apart from other factors that contribute to my success, one of the important factors that decides my success is whether I am able to use the time given to me or available to me productively or not. I can accomplish more. If I accomplish more, what's the advantage? So I have time left, and if I have a little time left, I can spend it with my family, I can spend it with friends, I can spend it for leisure or whatever. I can now I can master my time, and the quality of my work improves. I can finish whatever projects are on my hand in less time, and I can avoid things becoming urgent so that I need to immediately pay attention to them. And people trust me more. If I give them a deadline and if I meet that deadline, if I do things in time, and if I am punctual, if I am regular, if I am time conscious, and if I know how to manage my time, people trust me more, people I become more reliable. These are some advantages. You can add to that list. You can add a few other things to that list later. Right. People ask me this question very often, sir, can time really be managed? No, time cannot be managed, but we can manage ourselves. We can manage the things on hand. We can manage the actions, the activities, the things that we do in such a way that the available time can be put to use. Because I cannot expand time, I cannot compress time, I cannot change the amount of time. But what I can do in that time, I can change. That's why people said there are two kinds of time. One is the clock time. Clock time is what the clock tells me, and that's common to everybody. Everybody has 24 hours in a day. Everybody has 60 minutes in an hour. Everybody has 365 days in a year. Everybody lives for about 60, 70, 80 years, and then some fixed time. This is common to all. The prime minister has the same time, and the pauper in the street also has the same time. The student has the same time. The teacher has the same time. The teacher's teacher also has the same time. So this time is called the clock time. But what we can do in that time, in that clock time, is called real time. Real time is what we can achieve, what we can accomplish within that given time. What I can do in 60 minutes is different from what you can do. Maybe you can do more or you can do less than what I can do in the given time. So how far you run in 60 seconds is different from how far somebody else runs in that 60 seconds. What the prime minister does in a day is different from what a beggar does in that 24 hours. So one is the clock time, which is common to all. One is the real time, that is relative. So relative in the sense, so the way I handle it, the way I use it, the way it is to me is different from what it is to you. And the second thing is we cannot manage time, but we can manage ourselves. So by inculcating some good habits, by knowing how to manage time, by organizing myself, by doing a few things that we are going to discuss during the section today, we can manage ourselves better. So it's not exactly time management, but it's my management. So time management is perhaps a very frequently used term to refer to how we can organize ourselves, how we can manage ourselves to make the most of the time available to me. It's actually some kind of a misnomer. So it's not time that's we are managing, but it's ourselves we are managing. Then the last thing is we can manage what we do with our time. So that given time and given work. So how I can fit that work into the time that's available to me. I think all of us know how we work before an examination, how we work when we do not take something very seriously, how we fill the same time with, hectic work or with relaxed, easy going attitude. So it all depends. But that's what I called it real time just now. So how we manage the things that I have on my hand with the time that's available to me is what I can manage. Right. Let's do one more exercise. And if all of you can switch on your cameras, it will be very good to me. I would love that, but I think only 10% of you are doing that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll count time for you. I'll again say start, and I will also say stop after 60 seconds. And you have to, what do you have to do? Both your hands you have to put together and you have to clap like this and count also. While you are clapping, you count in your mind. It need not be loud. So you just clap for 60 seconds. If you're ready, I'll start. Start. Stop. I think you've counted how many times you've clapped. Will you tell me how many times have you clapped?
Sir, I 68 times.
I see 87 by
62.
74, sir.
62.
87,
140,
who said
87,
Two.
sir.
87, sir.
142.
87, sir.
somebody said 140?
Sami.
62.
Oh, good, great. Good. Wonderful. So most of you have done 60, 70, 80 in that range. Between 50 and 140 is the range, I think. Okay. Now, I have something else, something similar rather. Now, suppose I give you the same 60 seconds time again. Can you clap more times? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now, before you begin, you set a target for yourself. So I did 80 first time. Now I want to do more. How many more can I do? Can I do 140? Somebody did 140 already. So I did only 50. Can I do more than 50? Can I do more than 140? Ask yourself and fix a target in your mind. I want to do so many times in that 60 seconds. So maybe if necessary, write that figure that you have in your mind on a piece of paper in front of you and then begin with that target. So now you have a target. You try to reach. Whether you reach that or not is not important to me, but try that. Okay. So have a target first. And when I say start, start again. Are you all ready? Have you fixed a target for yourself, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Good,
sir.
good. Now start. Stop now. Okay, wonderful. You need not tell me the number now. Have all of you achieved more than what you achieved the first
Yes,
time?
sir.
Yes,
Is there
sir.
anyone?
Yes,
Is there
sir.
anyone
Yes,
who
sir.
could not do more than
Yes,
the
sir.
first?
Yes, sir.
I think it's more than what we had targeted.
Great. So it's certainly more than the first time. Now, why did you achieve more? Anybody?
Because we pre-decided the target beforehand, and it was like we are mentally doing it before starting it.
Sananda, thank you very much. That's wonderful. So, because you already had a target in your mind and then you were trying to achieve that target, and you also knew the first time how many claps you could do in 1 minute, and then you had an idea, you had some experience, and now you wanted to achieve that. You were mentally prepared. Ritu, thank you. So, you're prepared to achieve that, and that's why you achieved more. Some of you might have even surpassed the target that you had set for yourself. Let's not go into details. I wish it had been a physical class so that we could watch it. I liked some people switched on the microphone. I could hear the sound. That was wonderful, actually. Some 4 or 5 of you. If all of you had done it, that would have been more wonderful. Anyway, so I'm very happy that all of you achieved more the second time. Now, you also gave me some reasons, right? Why we achieved more, mentally prepared, we had a target, and then we had some experience and all that. I'll come back to this point a minute later. Let's just see a Guinness record of how many claps somebody achieved in 1 minute.
Hello, my name is Seven Wade. I'm going to try to break the record of smooth clapping.
Set it and go.
See the result. How many? How many times did he clap?
1080.
1080.
1080 times. So we were setting a target of 100, 150. Yes, you watched it. Very good. Yes, Jasmeet. Yes, Paul. So it's 1080 times in 60 seconds. So is that not really wonderful? And that's human capability. One human has achieved, and I'm sure this this record will be broken very soon. And I think it will be much, much higher than that very soon, because records are there to be broken. Now every day we find hundreds and thousands of records being broken all around the world in every field of human activity. So this is our capacity. Within that 60 seconds, what we could do depends on all the reasons that you gave me: our mental preparedness, our experience, our practice, our targets that we set for ourselves, and so many other factors. So typically, what do? We think, oh, this is all I can do. This is all I can read in 1 minute. This is all I can teach in 1 minute. This is all I can learn in 1 minute. This is all I can achieve in 1 minute. So this is how we develop some mental blocks, and we think this is all we can do it. Many people complain, oh, I don't have time. I want to do all this in my life, but I want to do a PhD, but I don't have time. I want to teach some other subject or some other class, but I don't have time. I want to engage some private tuitions, and then, or I want to learn a new subject. I want to join another course and then acquire one more diploma, but I don't have time. I'm already busy. So this happens because, I mean, at least in some cases, it's because we do not know how to manage our time effectively. Right? So let's see, in case we decide to manage our time better, what we can do. These are some 4 very, very simple things that we can start practicing immediately. So the first thing that we need to look at is, what are the things that I must do on my own personally, with my hands, with my body, with my mind, and with the time available to me. What are the things that I must do? For instance, if there is a classroom teaching work, perhaps you as a teacher, you need to go to the class and then you teach. You cannot ask somebody else to do that. If there is some library work, perhaps you part of it you can do, part of it you can delegate, etc. Anyway, let's come to more details later. So there are a few things that you need not directly do, you can delegate. You can take the help of others. For instance, in your classroom, you can ask a student to help you. Last time when we did SWOC, I also asked maybe some 5 or 6 of you to read the slides. So I asked you to help me in identifying a few things. So that's how we can delegate the work. Not because you cannot do that, but because you can. And we are talking about saving time. If you think that delegating some work to somebody saves your time, perhaps you can try that. And some things which are not very important and that don't need immediate attention can be delayed. Delayed means postponed to a later day. They can be done tomorrow. You have to identify what tasks must be done immediately, need immediate attention, what tasks can be delayed. There are things that are not really urgent. So you can do them tomorrow. You can do them in the evening. You can do them after the college is over. You can do them during the vacation. You can do them on a Sunday. So are there things like that in your list, on your to-do list? So delay. And then there are, of course, there are things that are absolutely not essential. They are not important at all. If you completely delete them, no problem at all. You don't lose anything, you don't lose much. There are lots of things in this, life which we do, but we don't realize that we can as well do without them. We can manage without them. So, what are the things I need to have a list of? For instance, if you have the habit of preparing a list of to do list for that day, for that year, for that month, whatever. So, what are the things that you must do? What are the things you can delegate to others? What are the things that can be postponed to a later date? And what are the things that need not be done at all? So the moment you start organizing things like this, it becomes very easy for you to manage your time better. So to do these four things, there are a few tips on the right side. You must know how to focus, how to prioritize. Of course, this 4D formula is prioritizing. So the topmost priorities are on your to-do list. The least priorities are on the delete list. Then you need to know your deadlines, use an organize. These are all the tips that you can pick up. Maybe we'll come to some of them in the next slides. Some of you might have already seen this matrix. Have you seen this matrix? Has anybody seen this matrix earlier?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In show analysis.
Yes, sir, it was done.
Yes, sir.
When was it done? In some other class?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Can you explain it to me? Anybody?
If it is important and urgent, then we have to do it.
Okay.
If it is important, if it is important but not urgent, then we can delay it. And if it is not important, not urgent, you might as well delete it.
Right.
If it is urgent but not important, then we can delegate it.
Okay, great. Very good. Good. Yeah, because you already know I'll not spend much time on this, but let me just show you a few details. So things that are not urgent and not important, I'm here on the bottom right box. So things that are not urgent and not important are called trivia. Trivia means irrelevant, useless, not important, not so important, things that can be completely discarded, things that can be done away with. So this kind of things can be called trivia. And trivia, because they are not important, because they are not urgent, you can as well delete them from your list. What are some examples of that? So those things that can be eliminated are things like distractions, things like trivia. Trivia is, anything that's, not very significant, not very important. Time wasters, chatting, chatting, not the useful one. So just, going on chatting with somebody on mundane on not very significant things. And then some people surf. They're not. Their searching is different. Surf is different. So they are not searching on the web for something. They're just surf because they have free time. They think that they can waste it on surfing. Similarly, I said watching cricket. If you're not a cricket player, if you're not a cricket statistician, if you're not a cricket critic, I think cricket is just watching so much time, spending so much time is trivia. I think people like you is I see hundreds and thousands of people sitting in front of the television and then watching the whole day, sometimes the whole night, sometimes days together. I think, see, if I am a cricket enthusiast, if I just know the score, if I have an idea of what's happening, that's okay. But it's not like that. They watch every ball. They get completely so very engrossed in that they forget everything, even important things they postpone. Sometimes they apply for leave and sit at home and watch cricket, especially if India is playing against a certain country, and then if they get so very immersed in that. So that is trivia actually. See, suppose I'm a cricket critic. I write a column on cricket in a newspaper or a magazine or somewhere. Then it becomes essential for me. It becomes important to me. If I am a cricket photographer, it becomes important to me. If I am a cricket player myself, perhaps it's important to me. But of course, even if I am a cricket player, playing is better than watching. I'm talking about watching. How many hours of precious time do we waste on that? There are lots of other things like that. Oversleeping. Some young teachers sleep, long hours. I think somebody told me, I'm not very sure. It may not be scientific. Somebody said if people at your age, 30s, 40s, 50s, at that age, if anybody is sleeping longer than 7 hours, I think you must have a health checkup. So I don't know if I should believe that, but he told me that 7 hours is perhaps already very long. If you are sleeping longer than 7 hours, I think there is some problem with your health. You should go to a doctor and check why you are sleeping so long. Then you need some remedial measures. Anyway, so of course it may change from body to body, person to person, work to work, depending on what kind of work you do, how strenuous the kind of work that we do, how physical and manual the kind of work that we do, depending on so many other factors. But that's a very general statement. You need not immediately take that for granted, but something like that. Maybe you can decide how much time of sleep is good for your body. You can decide. Your body tells you. Right. Okay, that's the first kind of things. Then there are the second kind of things, which are called interruptions. And these are things that are urgent, must be done, and not important. Like the distractions. I am going out and then somebody suddenly calls me, and then somebody comes, a visitor comes, and then, or maybe I'm studying and then there is some distraction outside. Some friend calls me out for a cup of tea. I am sitting in the library. I've opened a reference book and then I'm going through that. Somebody just comes in and then walks in and then says, "Shall we have a cup of tea?" That's a distraction. So I came to the library for a different purpose. So these are interruptions, right? I saw many young people keeping the notifications on their mobile phones on, and the notifications are sounds. So notifications need not be switched on. Actually, they can be disabled. So because whenever you are free, you can open your mobile phone and watch all the messages that you've received. But because the notifications are on, what happens as I'm talking to you, suppose there is a notification sound here. I'm tempted to look here. The moment I look here, I have lost connectivity here. So my flow gets affected. So make it a habit to switch off the notifications on your mobile phone, on your laptop, or whatever, wherever. And in case these notifications switched off, you don't lose much. In fact, you gain a lot. How do you gain? Anyway, the message is there. Anyway, whatever you have received, the mail, message, whatever is going to be there. And when you are free, when you have some time allocated for that, you can open your mobile and watch that. So switching off your notifications is one excellent idea because they are interruptions to your work. And similarly, some unimportant calls. So people just call. So people say, "Okay, hello, how are you?" And then I just call like that. I just give you a call just to check where you are, what you are, this kind of things. So if you are talking to your child, or if you're talking to your father, if you're talking to your family member, that's different. But these are calls that, interrupt your work. They distract you. So such calls can be avoided. Such distractions and interruptions can be avoided. So in bold letters I've written, these are the things that need to be avoided. And the first category are the things that need to be completely eliminated, deleted. Then there are the third kinds of things, which are called emergencies. Emergency means must be done. Immediate attention, compulsory. It must be done. So emergencies, we must reduce them. So as far as possible, how do we reduce? By being preventive. By taking some preventive measures, we can reduce them. So accidents are like that. And then a baby crying in the next room, it cannot wait. It must be immediately attended to. So, right? Similarly, urgent telephone calls, crisis situations. CRISIS is plural. So, crisis situations, deadlines. Tomorrow you must submit this lesson plan. Tomorrow you must give this question paper. Tomorrow the examination is there and then you have to do this. So, the college has some deadlines. And these deadlines must be met immediately because they are urgent and they are also important. You cannot postpone them now. So, these are things that can be reduced. I'll come back to this after 2 or 3 minutes, why they should be reduced. The last one is the most urgent and the most important things. We must focus on them. So I call them planning things. So like your health, like your exercise, like your job, like your relationship building long term, like your upskilling, upgrading, doing something beyond what you already are doing, achieving something bigger, your ambitions, your goals, all these things are your planning related things, and we must focus on them. So 1 minute ago, I said we must reduce our emergencies because I know quite a lot of people, maybe in percentage terms, maybe 60, 70, 80% of people, what do? They focus on item 3. What is item 3? Emergency. Suppose you have to pay your electricity bill and the deadline is today. So you must pay it because if you don't pay, maybe you will lose the connection. It will be disconnected. Power will be disconnected. So you go to that electricity office, or maybe you are paying online. You open that website and then you pay in the last minute. By any chance, if you miss doing it today, perhaps you're going to suffer tomorrow. So why has this happened? Because you did not do it when it was due or when it was long due. Maybe you could have done it a week back. You could have done it as soon as you got the bill, and you could have done it as soon as it is important. We talked about setting a question paper, for instance. So if tomorrow is an examination, and as a teacher, if you have to set the question paper, today night you sit down and write down the question paper because it's urgent now. It must be submitted tomorrow. Suppose you had set that question paper 15 days ahead, 10 days ahead, or immediately after you finish the lesson. That would have been in your 4th category. That would have been your planning. And instead of becoming an emergency, it would have remained a planning stage activity. So I think instead of doing things when they become 3, if we do things when we are 4, I think our lives will be much more successful. If you remember this one sentence, I think you have understood what I have tried to tell you. So do things when they are in your block number 4. That means when they are not urgent. Don't wait till things become urgent. Your life will be absolutely successful. Take one simple example, health, for instance. When do we go to a doctor? Generally, when do we go to a doctor?
When we are ill.
When we are ill, when we are ailing, when we are already suffering from something, when something bad has already happened, or when something has already aggravated. Right? When it's not the first day, I'm afflicted with something. On the first day, I don't go to the doctor. I neglect. The second day, I neglect. The third day, I go to the doctor. By then, it is already aggravated and has become serious. Suppose I have a preventive health checkup, or I take measures that will not make me sick, or at least prevent me from falling sick. So if I had done that when it was the planning stage or block number 4, I would not have fallen sick at all. Or even if I had fallen sick, the first symptom that I have a cold, I have a fever, I have a knee joint pain, I have something else. Suppose I have the first symptom, immediately I consulted a doctor, it would not have become 3 because I'm tackling it when it's 4. I think, I don't know if you are following what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. So, I was talking to you about the academic field. So it is like setting the question paper. It's for preparing for the examination. It is working on an assignment. It's registering for a course that you have available. It can be anything. You want to prepare, for instance, an aid, a visual aid for your class. You want to prepare a chart of your own, or you want to search for some material available on the web for your class tomorrow. So search for that and then keep it ready so that, if you have it ready a week ahead, and you will be absolutely comfortable. And then I know people, especially students, who work so late into the night and the day prior to the examination, one day before the examination, they keep the whole night awake and they keep studying for the examination. The next day they will naturally be not very comfortable keeping awake, and then they cannot take the examination very peacefully because they did not they last sleep last night. If they had prepared for the examination earlier, I think they will be absolutely relaxed and comfortable. So keep this chart in your mind always and ask yourself, what are the things that are very important to you but still are not urgent? The best example is your health, your physical health, your mental health, and take care of them because they are absolutely important to you. They are not urgent today, but tomorrow they are going to become urgent. Don't wait till they become urgent. The moment you have a sign, the moment you have a symptom, the moment you have a premonition that something is bad is going to happen, attack that immediately. Good and bad, whatever. Right. I think we'll stop there and move on. Now I have a small assignment for you. I've just kept this chart, the matrix that we saw in the previous slide, just a sample of that here. Now, please tell me each one of these, where does it go? So we saw this is 1, bottom right is 1. You can just give the number. Bottom left is a 2, and top left is a 3, and top right is 4. So prepare for your tomorrow's class. Where should it go?
3.
Urgent.
Tomorrow, it's already urgent. Thank you very much. Join a colleague for a casual lunch.
Not
1.
not urgent.
Sorry, which one?
2.
Sir, it could be 1.
It could be 1 or 2. 1. I think it's 1. I think it's 3
One,
as well.
one.
Because it's a casual lunch. It's not something very, very planned. And then if you don't go for this lunch, I don't think any serious thing will happen. And it's your colleague, not some stranger or not a relative, not a very important person in your life. And just a colleague. Sorry? Somebody said something. Sorry. Yeah. So because this is a casual thing, casual means, the word indicates that it's not very important. If you don't go, nothing happens. It does not mean that you must ignore that. I don't mean to say that you must ignore all casual lunches and then you should not go at all. So if you have plenty of time, if nothing else to do, and if you've planned it, if you've made a promise, that's different. Right. Collect 50 old postage stamps.
1.
Sir,
Four,
it can
sir.
be planning.
4.
4.
4, I think. 4.
For to whom?
Planning
So
for
who love doing it?
If you are a philatelist, if you are a collector of postage stamps, it's very important to you and it's urgent to you. Why is it for? You are a teacher, you are an academician, you are a college teacher, you are not a philatelist. And then, these postage stamps can be collected, not collected. I don't think it's going to affect your career or your life in any manner. And it's a slow process. So it must be 1, I think, or at least 2. It must be.
Yes, one.
Yeah, for all. If you consider yourself an academician, if your focus is on teaching, if your objective in life is to become a better teacher, I think it's 1. Right? If you are a stamp collector and these 50 stamps is going to make a life and death difference to you, and because you have not collected those 50 stamps, you are losing a prize or something, then it becomes 4. Otherwise, it's 1. Right? Something trivial for you, for a teacher who's this is I did not even say that your background, what are you and all that. I am looking at you as a teacher for all these questions. Right. The next one. Watch a new movie releasing tonight.
1.
1, sir. 1.
Again one. Because
Again, it's 1.
suppose you are a film critic. Suppose you are a film reviewer. So you have to write a review about that movie tomorrow, newspapers, it must be published. Then it becomes 3 or 4 for you. But otherwise, for a teacher, it's 1. Suppose you see the movie instead of today, tomorrow, what happens? Suppose you don't see the movie, what happens? Nothing. Right? So this is not very important to you as an academic, as an academician, as a teacher. So that too, why on the first day? In fact, people who love watching movies always wait for some reviews to come, always take the opinion of other people, always see the rating. And if the film is successful and if the film has some message that I am interested in, then I go to the movie. Why should I go on the first day without knowing whether that movie is good or not? I think that's a bad judgment, no? So going on the first day, for your students, perhaps this is an achievement. It's some kind of an adventure. I saw it at the first day. So we are not at that stage. We are teacher, right? Visit an ailing friend who is in an ICU.
3.
3, I think.
It could be 3. Yes.
3.
Because the patient is there in the ICU and maybe sometimes even the chance of survival perhaps are at stake, and then maybe it can be 3. Correct, you're right. And also, please let me tell you that if somebody says 1, everybody need not say 1, because it's your perspective, depending on my perspective, depending on my ambitions in my life, depending on how much it matters to me. So something becomes 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So our perspectives may be different. Our consideration of things may be different. So don't think because if I call it 3 does not mean it should be 3 to everybody. Right. Okay. Set a question paper for an exam which is next month.
Four.
It can be 3 or
Four.
4.
It must be 4 because
Four.
the
Four.
examination is next
Next
month.
month.
Convenient. But if you set the question paper now, you are absolutely comfortable, and then you can make it changes to that. You can edit that. You can keep it ready, and 15 days ahead you have printed it and then kept it ready. You are whatever. And so that's 4. I think I agree with all of you. Somebody said 3. It's okay. If you think it's 3, it's fine. Right. That means 1 month is too short a time to plan. Perhaps it's already the deadline is over, whatever. If you said 3, right? Then buy a new dress for the college annual day.
One.
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 I think it's 1 or 2 because cannot be 4 certainly. Because I think if you don't buy that new dress, I think the college day will not stop, and then you have nothing to lose. Even if you go in an old dress, I don't think there is a serious problem with that. So you've just decided to buy a new dress. That's good, but I think it's either trivia or something that can be completely eliminated also because it's not going to affect your performance on that, right? Okay, the last one. Read and forward all WhatsApp messages that you receive.
One.
One.
One. One.
One and two. One. I think one is better, I think, because I think this is something, unfortunately, quite a lot of us do knowingly and unknowingly. So some people have this habit of forwarding everything that comes to them, and they put it in all the groups that you know. Sometimes I receive the same message in 20 different groups from 20 different people in each group. Imagine how nonsensical it is. See, when I'm forwarding a message to somebody, I must check whether that person is interested in it or not, whether it will be useful to him or not, whether it's my job or not, whether it's authentic or not, whether it's relevant or not. So we don't think much. We just forward messages. Because it has come to me, I must throw it in somebody's bin. It's in my bin now, and it must also be in the bin of somebody else. So this is how, I mean, we are wasting a lot of time on trivial things and things that are completely useless, irrelevant to us. I think one golden principle that we can keep in our mind is, we must stop forwarding unless it's absolutely essential to somebody. If I, for instance, I get a message or I write better, don't forward anything at all. If you have some comment on that, you give your comment. That's all. And that's how your thinking abilities also improve. I think forwarding is just used unless, there is an article, there is some very useful information, and you are sure that this is going to be useful to somebody, then I forward it to you. If possible, with a comment. Oh, I thought this message would be relevant to you. This message would help you. That's why I'm forwarding it to you. Some such thing. Otherwise, stop. Let things stop with you. Right? Okay. So these are some examples, and you can have some more examples of your own, and you can just check the kind of things that you do every day, in what block they are, in what part of the matrix they are, and then you can give them the right treatment. Right. This is a tip that I'd like to leave you with. And then this is called auditing. Like you audit your money, you audit your other things, your academic activities, you must audit your time also. How do you do that? Maybe look back at your yesterday. You had 24 hours yesterday. Out of the 24 hours, how much time you spent on each activity? How long did you sleep? How long did you spend on this? How long did you spend on this? How much of work, what you did, and then that is auditing. Auditing for where has money come from, where has money gone, is financial auditing. Time auditing is, of course, the resource is limited, the 24 hours limited time, that clock time. Out of the 24 hours, where has that money gone? You can have a graph made of that. You can have a bar graph or whatever kind of graph, and you can check where your time is going. Where are you spending your time? And was it really spent productively? If you ask yourself these questions, this is some kind of another SWOT analysis of your time. Right. So what tasks are you performing? Have you set any time-bound specific targets for them? So everything that you want to do you have a time audit? For instance, like that clapping you did. So suppose you decide, so I am going to prepare for my class tomorrow, and I am going to devote 30 minutes for this. I am going to sit tonight at 9 o'clock, and by 9:30 I'll finish because so many pages I need to read and 30 minutes perhaps would be enough. 9 o'clock I'll start. I'll not be distracted by anything and I'll not have anything else to do during that time. And by 9:30 I'm going to close that. Suppose you have a clarity like that. Suppose you have a time bound specific target like that. It becomes very easy. But what do we do? 9 o'clock we start, immediately the phone rings. 9 o'clock we start and immediately suddenly we realize, oh, that flask of water we've forgotten inside the kitchen. 9 o'clock we start and then we also remember that we forgot making a call to somebody. So, I mean, the time bound target is not met, though I set a target, but I did not meet that. So first set a target, stick to that, and then achieve goals. Are you working according to a plan? So I'm going to do it like this, like this, like this, like this. For instance, I have a 90-minute class now. During that 90 minutes, I have come with a plan. So I will show this slide, I'll show this text, I'll speak about this, I'll show this video, I'll ask them to do this activity. So I have a plan. This is my lesson plan. Similarly, you also have a lesson plan. And if you have a lesson plan, go according to that. Similarly, you have an annual plan, go according to that. So you can audit your time. So, okay, according to the lesson plan that I have, according to the annual plan that I have, I should have finished this by November end. Have I finished? Am I lagging behind or have I gone too very far ahead? So where am I? So it's like the milestones while you are journeying, while you are driving by the highway. There are milestones to tell you how far have you traveled already and how much time you need to go further to reach your destination, etc. Like that. Time also is to be audited like that. Then, are you using a calendar or organizer? I'll come to that a little later. So, if you're using a calendar, organizer, whatever, I think you stand to gain because that benefits you, that helps you plan your time better. Right. So, I'm going to show you a list of obstacles, list of things that stand in the way of our achieving our time targets. So, what can prevent you from achieving more in the time that's available to you? Before I show you the slide, I would like you to type in the chat box and then whatever you can think of, please write there. What can go against your plan as far as your time goals are concerned? I'd like to see some answers in the chat box. Health is one problem. Yes, Gandhimati. Okay. And unforeseen situations, Kasturi, yes. Dilip says emergencies. And Sebonti says some unforeseen events, yes. Okay. And Aishwarya says family commitments. Jasmeet says natural calamities. Yeah, that are beyond our control. Sapna, environment. What exactly does that mean? Sapna, will you please switch on your microphone and tell me what do you mean when you say environment? Yeah, any other answers? We're talking about obstacles. Mental health, okay. Health and mental health. You said health and mental health also, right?
So sometimes if it is a team effort, and your thoughts don't align with the other person's thought process, so in all those deliberations, probably there could be a delay.
Okay, just continue that discussion, Mary. Thank you very much for that input. But just for the sake of discussion, was that team just thrust upon me today, or have I already known that team?
You know the team, sir, but still, when you have a particular task, some people deem that they know it much better. They have already done it once before. You are pretty new here, probably, and maybe you would have done it somewhere else, but here in this setup, it is pretty new. So maybe you can just keep your ideas to yourself, and maybe I'll run the show.
Yeah. So this kind of wrong expectations about the team members and also the personal preferences of the other members of the team and also the prejudices, biases of the other members, etc., can affect it. Yes, agree. Right. Let's see what I have on my slide. I have lots of them listed for you. These are all things that can prevent us from achieving more with the time that's available to us. The first important one on the top left is unclear objectives. So I do not really know. I'm looking at the whole thing from my perspective. So I'm not considering the inabilities of others, the skills of my team members and others. As an individual, I want to achieve something, but something is standing in my way. I want to achieve something in 60 minutes, but I'm not able to achieve that in 60 minutes. Why? These things can go wrong. I think you've understood that. So the first thing that can go wrong with me is I am not very clear in my mind. My objective is not clear. What is it that I want to achieve? When I said in 1 minute, what can you do? You wrote 150 times, I'd like to clap. So you did not ask me, sir, should I clap like this? Should I make a sound? Should I clap like this? Should I clap like this? Or should I clap like this? Maybe we were not very sure. Anything was okay for me. Anything was okay with me. Suppose I had a very clear, a clap means the two palms must join, make loud audible sounds. So if I had a definition like that, so I would have, perhaps it would have been easier for me to decide whether I would achieve that or not achieve that. So clarity. So finishing the syllabus is different, and then finishing the syllabus in a certain way is different. Doing a lesson is different. Doing a lesson in a certain way is different. Setting a question paper is different. Setting a question paper with certain very clear idea of what my questions are going to. Some people do not know how to set question papers. It may be out of context. Let me tell you. For instance, they ask questions like, in which paragraph do you find the answer to this question? I mean, is that a question at all? Suppose I ask you, are you following me? Is that a question at all? I mean, that's completely useless. Anyway, I'll come to that in the next session about asking questions. But I mean, absence of clarity of objectives can be a great stumbling block in the way of achieving more with the time that we have. Then some people do not plan. They do not plan it properly. They want to achieve it. Suppose I want to clap 100 times in 1 minute, in 60 seconds. So what should I during the first 20 seconds? What should I during the second, third pair? See, running races you might have seen. So they have a very clear concept. So I will start slow like this, then I'll pick up speed, and towards the end, I'm going to do this. So that's a plan. So if I don't have plan, what happens? Like in this picture, no? So you will put yourself in a corner and you cannot come back. So begin with a plan, go according to a plan. If the plan fails, review, and then at least the next time you will succeed. But absence of plan is going to lead me to failure. So this can be another stumbling block in the process of my achieving what I want to achieve with the time available. And these are things that are
Obstacles, sir.
personal thing. I mean, somebody already said my family commitments, my health commitments, my personal commitments. So I want to achieve this. I want to finish this syllabus in this period. I want to do my PhD in 3 years. But what about my family? My family has some commitments. I have to. I have to take care of my child. I have to take care of my family, or I have to take care of my ailing parents. I have to take care of my to be born child, some such thing. So that's why, because I'm not able to achieve whatever I wanted to achieve the time I thought I would achieve my PhD, I would get a doctorate in 3 years. But what happened? Suddenly I got married, or suddenly I have a second child, or suddenly my child fell sick, suddenly my parent died, some such thing. So personal family commitments also come in the way. Somebody said family commitments, it's something similar. Personal commitments, family commitments, etc., can stand as hindrances in the way of achieving what I want to achieve with the time that I have. And the most important thing, all of us subject to this, distractions. Very often, I was talking to you about the notifications on your telephone. These are distractions. So I am doing something. So if I sit in the library, I sit in the library for some kind of absolute attention to what I am doing. But suppose I am sitting in the library, but still everyone who is entering the library catches my attention. Every half a minute, I look around and I greet somebody, or I allow somebody to come and disturb me. I mean, that's a distraction. right? Wherever even if I sit at home also, for instance, if I'm doing this class, I've chosen the best place in my home. I have a very small house, so just 2 rooms. So within that 2 rooms, where can I sit down? Suppose actually you do not know, but my just behind this laptop screen, the main road is there. So I have closed the door, I have closed here, everywhere, so that I do not hear that noise. So I cannot change my home for this. But I think if I open this door, it will be so very terrifyingly distracting. Because my house is just next to the main road in Hyderabad. A lot of traffic is here. So, I mean, what do I do? So I avoid distractions by taking care. Somebody talked about environment. Perhaps maybe they thought of this, right? Okay. Then inability to say no. Many times what happens? If somebody calls us, or somebody suddenly comes and says, shall we go to a movie? Actually, we have some other work, but we think, oh, this is a friend of mine, and last time she gave me the support. If I don't go, she will feel bad, and that's why I must accept. I must say yes, and I cannot say no to her. Some such thing. But there is nothing wrong. You can always say, oh, today I am occupied. Today I have some commitment. Let's go to the movie some other time. How about next Friday? So if you say something like that very pleasantly, courteously, respectfully, I don't think anybody will feel offended. But many times we accept responsibilities. I mean, we just say yes because we cannot say no. Saying no also is a skill. But saying no does not mean hurting others. Saying no means it also does not mean declining an invitation. It means declining something because it's inconvenient to you, and also perhaps making an alternative suggestion. Okay, today I'm not hungry. Shall we postpone our planned dinner to next Saturday? So some such thing, right? So you must learn the art of saying no without hurting people, right? That we'll see the solutions. Okay. Then what do? We are completely disorganized. There are teachers who search for everything, even on their bodies, even in their purses, even in their pigeonholes. They don't keep anything in place. They always are searching for something other. So very unfortunate. I've seen teachers even searching for things, even on their body. They don't know where they kept their purse. They don't know where they kept their handkerchief. And I remember when I was a teacher, there used to be pigeonholes given to us. Even there also people are searching for things. There are 4 attendance registers, 3 textbooks, 2 reference books, maybe a piece of a chalk, some such thing. And they are searching for that every day. Everything they take out and everything they search. Completely unorganized, space-wise, time-wise, resources-wise. Then there are stress factors, fatigue factors. I don't need to describe them because there can be extraneous reasons for that. Then there are other professional obligations, commitments. So you gave your commitments to, multiple things, different jobs, different activities, different commitments, etc. I think this is one of the most important. Indecisiveness. Shall I go here or go here? Shall I eat this or eat that? Shall I do this or not do this? Shall I do this or do that? Shall I accept it or decline it? So inability to decide, inability to take quick decisions can be a great time consumer, can be a great time waster. So that's why lots of people, lots, not all, lots of people succeed in life because of their ability to take quick and good decisions. Decision making itself is a skill. Decision making is an art. If I know how to take decisions quickly, to tell you something very interesting, I saw people even spending hours together, even and deciding what they should have for breakfast. They go to a hotel and then there are not many items, 2 or 3, idli, dosa, vada, that's two or three items. And even to decide what to eat, they ask that waiter to come back again. Okay, go and come back after 5 minutes. I'll order after 5 minutes. That means they need 5 minutes to decide whether they want to eat idli or what. And then if there are bigger decisions, important life related decisions, I don't know how long will they take to decide. So I do not mean to say that we must jump to decisions. Taking good decisions does not mean that taking long time to decide. Taking good decisions is a skill that you need to develop. That's another topic. Okay. So indecisiveness, not able to take quick decisions, is another problem. Then procrastination. All of us are subject to deciding. Okay, let me do it tomorrow. Why is it so urgent? There is time still. Let me postpone it to tomorrow. Examinations are in April, not now. Right? The question paper needs to be set in the first week, not now. Right? The deadline is next month. Why not now? Right? My PhD thesis, I have another 3 years. Why start now? So by postponing things, by procrastination is postponement. So by postponing things to a later date, we lose time. That's another obstacle in achieving as much as we can in the time that's available to us. And finally, accepting too many things. Every, the principal calls you and tells, okay, do this. You are on that committee. Yes, sir. Okay, I'll do that. And somebody, your department head calls you and says, okay, do this also. Yes, sir, I'll do that. You want to please everybody. You do not know how to say that you're already overburdened and you cannot do this, and you can politely decline. It's quite possible. Or you must know how much you can achieve in the time that's available to you, and only that much you will do. Don't stretch your hands too very far and try to do many things, and then if you hold too many things in hand, something will slip off. I cannot carry everything, no? So I must know how much can I carry, how much can I take with me? How much can I do in the time that's available to me? Then nothing wrong. So you can tell the principal, sir, I've already accepted that other commitment. Let me first finish that, sir, and I'll come back to you in 2 days, and then I'll tell you whether I can take up this responsibility also. Don't immediately come to a conclusion. This is not possible. This is possible, and what I said does not work. What I said works. Again, it depends on lots of situations, lots of conditions. So how you speak to the principal, what kind of work you do, what kind of a college you are working in, what kind of commitments are. There are so many other factors. I'm not giving you one common formula to everybody. But sometimes we must know how to say that you're already overworked, you're already overburdened, you already have enough tasks on your hand, and you can take up the next responsibility on a priority later after this is over. After you finish one thing, you can accept another. There's some people talk about multitasking, all that, no? But science has proved that multitasking is an illusion. Recent studies have shown that multitasking is not possible. You pay attention to only one thing at a time. Your mind works only on one thing at a time. Anyway, again, that's another theory. So these are obstacles. These are the obstacles. These are the things that stop us from achieving what we want to achieve in the time that's available to us. What are some solutions? Maybe you can try. You can give me some strategies. What can we do? What should we do? I think the solutions are there in the problems themselves. Each problem automatically suggests the solution. Any answers?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So before starting any work or anything, you must have a well-defined objectives.
Correct. That answers question one. Yes. So if you have a clear objective, clear goal, a clarity in your mind, this is exactly what I need to do to achieve this. Suppose you're clear, it becomes easy for you to manage your time. You'll not go straight. Prioritize. Yes, Mary, thank you. Decide which is important, which can be done, which can be delegated. That's prioritization. So that itself is a very great way of tackling this.
Sir, this is Amit.
Yes,
The
Amit.
strategies means, you have certain works to do, and you have to do it in a timeline manner, timeline in a certain timeline. So you have to have your works defined according to the timeline, isn't it? That means for, let's say, in a day I have to finish 4 works. So, so I have to do it in the morning time something, in the afternoon time something, and the evening to the 2 works. So I have a timeline to finish. So this is how I can strategize my day. Which one is the priority one, which one the non-priority one.
Right.
Accordingly, I have to, make it.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you, Dr. Amit. I think you have suggested lots of things already in one format. So you said that prioritization and then planning, auditing, all these are solutions. Yes, smart work is Uma's answer. Yes, absolutely. So instead of working hard, work smart. Avoid multitasking. Yes, Montgomery, thank you.
Sir,
Yeah. Gandhimati says, accept things that you can do and don't accept things that you cannot do. Or you learn the skill first and then accept it. Yeah, somebody wanted to speak. Yes.
Sir, can I?
Yeah, yes, please.
Yes, sir. What I feel is that because you have already stated the obstacles, so those strategies will be coming naturally flowing out of those
Correct.
obstacles.
Correct. You're right.
And certainly, we should start with the thing like we must have clear-cut objectives. That means it must be well defined, and well defined means it must be fulfilling certain conditions, so that we not have to discuss very elaborately here. That I think that is very much clear to most of the people. Second thing is
Absolutely.
that when we are talking about obstacles, the second thing is that we must avoid distractions, because we understand that distractions, they are going to take a huge toll on our time management.
Yeah.
So that is why we must avoid the distraction. Third thing is that when we are not being able to say no, that means we understand that this is not a very important work, and it is something like a trivia, and if possible, and as much as possible, we should avoid it, at least for the present point of time. In the future, maybe we can do it. So we need to have that courage to say no to the things which are not supposed to be done now. Next thing is that if we are accepting too much things, we should avoid something like we should not bite something more than we can chew. So that is the thing we have to always take as principle of the life. So whatever we can do, as much what we can do within a stipulated period of time, we must take up that much of job only. We should not take too much of job. Next is that stress management is very important, because if we do not manage our stress, then maybe the task is very easy, but we cannot just complete it in time. So these are the things which are naturally flowing from the obstacles which we have already discussed.
Thank you, Dilip. I think that's a very comprehensive list of things that we can do to overcome the obstacles. I think I have almost the same thing on my slide also. So these are some of the strategies that we can use. So instead of working without goals, we must set our goals. So this I can do in these steps, and then I want to achieve here. That's why I must have clarity in my mind in terms of the goals that I set for myself. So goals are lesson plans. Goals are annual plans. Goals are what you want to achieve as a teacher. Goals are what is your ambition as far as your academic career is concerned. So if your goals are clear, I want to achieve this in the next 2 years. I want to achieve in the next half an hour. I want to achieve in my lifetime. So short-term goals, long-term goals make it easy for you to achieve more. Then audit your time. We've seen that already. So yesterday, what did you do? How did you spend your 24 hours? Last 1 month, if you chronicle your time, if you audit your time, it helps you plan your time better. Then use a device. I think some of you do it already, but this is an excellent way. I developed this habit long ago, even much before mobile phones became popular, organizers became popular. So we used to mark in the calendar. So there used to be a wall calendar those days, and I used to mark everything that I needed to do on a calendar so that I would get a month overview of a complete month. So now today, luckily for you, so a Google Calendar, for instance, or any other calendar. So the calendar helps you sort things, organize things, know things, and then plan things properly. And it needs very little effort the moment you start entering the tasks and the works and the jobs that you have on hand in a proper order. This is not just a memory support. It is an organizer. It's called an organizer. It organizes for you, right? So in whatever manner, like an Excel sheet that helps you sort things in whatever order you want. So this organizer also helps you plan things properly and then approach things properly. Then of course there is using waiting time. I think this is something very important. Not many of us know how to use the time that's available to us while we are waiting for something. We are waiting, for instance, for we have taken an appointment with the doctor. We are waiting outside. We travel by bus every day, and we are waiting for the bus, or we are traveling by the bus. and we go to an airport and then the flight is delayed by an hour and then we are waiting there. Or we wanted to go to a class and then the class is cancelled that day and then we are waiting for the next class. Some such thing. So there is a lot of time that we often get luckily. So if a flight is delayed by 1 hour, you must consider it fortunate. It's something that is it's a boon that has been given. So what do typically people do? Typical go on cursing. Oh, it's always like this. India is like this. Flights are like this. My life has been like this, and it's always delayed. And then nothing that works in time here. Some such kind of negative thoughts and also very um, kind of frustration that we experience. Instead, if you use that time, maybe a book that you have not read and then you are carrying with you, perhaps you can open. Maybe some messages that you wanted to receive, delete in your mobile phone. No? Maybe that's the best time. You can open that and then delete them or read them, or something that has been left unread. You can go back to that, or something that you starred. WhatsApp allows you to start some messages so that you can go back to them. So all the starred messages you open and then read them. You maybe some replies are pending, and you can. So time can be very, very productively, even that waiting time. I think if you make this one habit while you're traveling, it does not mean that you must ignore them around and then you must not speak to the people sitting next to you and you must completely lose yourself. That it does not mean that. So whenever you are waiting for something, whenever something is delayed, and if there is nothing else you can productively do, I think there is something pending already that you can take care of. So utilizing the waiting time is a great tool. Then learning to say no. So many of you have already mentioned. So you must know this art of saying no to things that you cannot really accept. Then here, one at a time. Instead of multitasking, try to do one thing at a time so that you can do it more focused. And this is again very important. Many of us do not know how to celebrate success. I want to do something in 1 hour. I've done that. So I give myself a pat on my back and my pat on my shoulder, and then I also celebrate my success with a cup of coffee. I enjoy a chocolate, or I just go and tell people. I make a telephone call. I suppose I have a young child. Dad, I call my dad and say, Dad, today I've achieved something big. So if I have a son, I call my son and say, oh, I'm so very happy evening. I'm going to bring a chocolate. So some such celebration. You can even tell your colleagues that you have done something that you really were very keen on achieving, and that celebration gives you 10 times the strength that you feel you have, and then that makes you achieve more. So the first time I set my question paper 1 month ahead, the deadline has not approached. The principal sent a circular saying that question papers must be submitted in December first week, but my question paper is ready today. So I am going to celebrate. So I am going to treat all of you to a cup of coffee. Suppose you say that. Next month, automatically you will do it. You will repeat that. So, and I mean, a spirit of celebration is absolutely essential to enjoy what we are doing and also to manage your time better. Right. I'm coming to the towards the end of my presentation. Another 5 6 minutes, we'll try to close. So identify where is your time getting wasted. Where are the leakages? So I am wasting my time here. I'm wasting my time here. I'm wasting my time here. I am not doing the right thing in the right time, my right full potential, and that's why. So if you identify them, I mean, leak proofing becomes easy. So plugging the leaks, it depends on knowing where the leaks are. If I don't know where the leaks are, for instance, if I know that I'm oversleeping, I can check if I can sleep half an hour less and achieve more. If I know that I'm distracted by one, two, three, four, these things, I will cut down on the distractions and then achieve more. So knowing them is very important. So design a schedule and then celebrate success. And this is a 2 minute video, and I'll show this video to you. There is no audio in this. There is only music and subtitles. Watch this and tell me at the end what have you learned from this. Right? All of you, please watch this video. does not fit. The order is reversed. Okay, some 3 or 4 of you, please explain this to me.
Sir, the major task, okay, the major task, the big tasks of life, which are the most important one, that should be done first, so that we reduce certain kind of stress on those biggest tasks, and then the less important tasks can be done later because they will fit within the time of less important task after certain time.
Thank you, Sananda. For a college teacher, what are those more important tasks? What are some less important tasks?
Sir, I think being a teacher in the university, my priority should be like finishing the coursework that I am doing with the students, like their projects, their problems. I should give importance first, and then comes the things like my other deadlines, like taking care of a project that I am handling, and also like submitting my paper, which will add to my career, and all those things. Or
Thank you,
if I'm
Sananda.
editing
Sorry for
something.
interrupting you. Because you are talking about projects of your students, projects of your teachers, etc., etc. Where does your health go? Where does your academic growth go? Where does your skill upgradation go? Which is more important, the project that you are on or your health?
Yes, sir, definitely. Health is extremely important because if it is not good, then I won't be able to do anything.
That's all. So we focus on projects and we neglect our health. For instance, we focus on the examination and we neglect our long-term goals. We focus on finishing the syllabus and we neglect our PhD or maybe some other academic assignment that we've accepted. So we have to decide which is more important to me, which is the top priority to me. If you think that health is a top priority, without health you cannot do your project or your student's project. You must take care of your health. Is that big rock, right? Your academic ambitions are your big rock.
Right, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Sir,
Divakar.
this is, I can say, but because we know that the human life is full of human wants and unlimited human wants
Agreed.
and limited resources. So how to prioritize the human wants is very, very important with the limited resources. And this is, I think, the prioritization is very, very important in the context of fast things fast.
Agree with you, Divakar. So the only thing is, I know my priorities like nobody else knows them. My priorities and your priorities are different. And also, the priorities change from time to time, age to age, context to context. For instance, if I am 20, I neglect my health. If I am 40, I start looking at my health a little more seriously. I am 70 now, for instance. At 70, the only thing that I can ask for is health. I know how important it is to me at this age. So, depending on my age, depending on the context in which I live now, and depending on my priorities, depending on my preferences, so our priorities change. So, ability to properly prioritize is very, very, very important. Mary, yes, please.
Sir, it's just my personal experience, especially when we are dealing with time management. We in terms of academic scenario, what I have seen is that when we know there is a timeline throughout the year, whether it's a semester based or annual based, there is a timeline. So according to the timeline, like as you said, if you can have things before time itself ready with you, so when you have a leisure time, apart from taking care of your own self, you will have still some time left over. So during that time, probably you could sit back and finish off those tasks. So you prioritize it. You know there's a question paper impending in another 1 month. Finish it off. You know that they will be asking you to submit your workload in a so and so timeline. do it and keep it ready, because the template is already there. You just need to fill in that few things there. So all of this in that timeline based on your university or college where you're working, if you have figured it out and you work it that way, then you will notice that you have lot of time at hand for any kind of emergency situations.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And then, yes, I think it's quite obvious. So if I know where my time is going, how my time is going, and then if I also know where I need to plug the leaks, I think it becomes very easy for me to manage my time better. Anyone else
Yes,
about
sir.
that video that you saw?
Yes, sir. Sir, yeah.
Yes, Dilip.
Uh, yes. Going by that visuals you have already presented, what I feel is that our life is having a certain, what I can say, limited amount of time. So we do not have unlimited span of time during a life.
No.
So it is basically resource constraint which we are facing as far as the time is concerned. Time is the biggest resource. What I feel is that because it's something like a jar, I mean, the space is always limited, the time is always limited, and that space we can, I mean, use for accommodating as much as things as possible. So that will be basically satisfying the condition that the resources are being utilized in the best possible manner. So here the jar is having certain limited space. So there are certain things which have to be accommodated within the jar. That means there will be certain things which are very important in our life, and there are certain things which are trivial. So we have to accommodate everything. But thing is that if we will be accommodating the trivials first, then there will not be so much of space for the most important things in our lifetime. So the rocks are just like the important things which we must give maximum or topmost priority to, and we have to fill the jar with the rocks. There will be obviously certain empty spaces between the rocks, and those empty spaces will be enough to accommodate the pebbles,
Excellent.
which are something like unimportant, trivial things in our life. So everything can be very much accommodated within the limited space. The life will be fulfilling and will be obviously having all the goals achieved during our lifetime. We'll be having that kind of satisfaction of living. So that's
Thank you,
all.
Dilip. That's a wonderful summary. That's a lovely, lovely way of putting it. And then I think if you know how to place the big rocks of your life in right time at right place, I think you'll have certainly time left for other smaller things. Also, it does not mean you need to forego them. You're only properly prioritizing them, organizing them. The big rocks and the gravel can go together, but if you know how to use them, how to put them. But if you fill your life with all, I mean, trivial things, you will have no time left for the bigger things of life. That's exactly what it intended to say. I'm happy that you all got it. Maybe I have another 3 minutes left. In these 3 minutes, maybe some three or four of you can tell me, if you wish to, what are the big rocks of your life? Personal question. Need not everybody need not answer. If you think that you love sharing your big rocks of life with others, you can tell me. What are the big rocks of your personal life?
Sir, may I?
Yes, please, Sanjay.
Yeah, first of all, complete the coursework every semester, and after that, my research is my most prior things that I spend most of the time after that class period. But I don't. I want to put some extra. I want some more time from the this class load and all these things on the uh, research area. Okay, so I don't know. I don't
See,
able to
you
manage
are
these
working
things.
on your PhD.
It's quite
If you're working on
difficult.
your PhD, and if the
Yeah.
PhD is a big rock of your life,
No, I'm not doing
then I'm
PhD.
just giving an
I have
example.
done
I'm
postdoc.
just giving you an example. Suppose
Yeah,
you're working on your
yeah, yeah,
PhD,
yeah,
and the PhD is a big
yeah,
rock
yeah.
of your life. You can also go to a movie, but that's a gravel. You can also speak to your friends. You can also use your mobile phone. I'm not saying that the gravel must not be there. Only big rocks must be there. Big rocks should be there in the right place so that other things also can be there. Anyway, I'm very happy that you shared with us. Anyone else? What are the big rocks of your life? Academically.
May I,
Yes,
may I,
Kasturi.
sir?
Yes, Kasturi.
Academically, sir, since I have already completed my PhD, so since then I have not taken up any new projects. You call it lack of time management or anything. So first, I would like to do something in my research area, and I'm gradually progressing towards it, and I'm happy about it. And second thing, I have been trying to learn a new course through distance learning. So I think those are right now the two big areas I want to focus on.
Thank you so much, Kasturi, for sharing that. Maybe all of you can spend some time today evening to list the big rocks of your life, the most important things that you would like to achieve as a teacher, as an academician, professionally. So once you list them, give them top priority. It does not mean the other things you must ignore. You must not go to a movie. You must not talk to friends. You must not chit chat. You must not use your WhatsApp or whatever. So they all will find time automatically. The moment you decide the top most priorities of your life, you find place for them, other things will take care of themselves. So big achievers have all done that. So wish you all the best as for your time management. I must also